Hello, Termites. Welcome back. It's night 56 or 57. Not really sure. Tonight we're drinking a little Ghost chili vodka. You ever had chili vodka? It's really good if you like spicy. It's from Santa Barbara. I really enjoy Santa Barbara. It's north of Los Angeles if you've never been there. There's a golf course there I like, Sandpiper. Shout out to my friend Albert who works there if he's watching this. Probably not. I miss seeing Albert though. Anyway, that's what we're drinking. There you go. We're gonna get back now. Tanya's running wild in Los Angeles. She did not mention that she said, I think she's still 19, so I don't know how she's getting into all these bars. Obviously, she had some sort of fake ID, but she doesn't seem to care to address that so far, which is fine. It's fine. Termites, it's fine. At first, I thought Desi Arnaz Jr. must have heard some wowza stories about me because I had to pass a small inquisition to even have one date with him. Later, I discovered it wasn't just me who had to pass a test. It was everybody who went out with him. I saw Desi Jr. and Dean Paul Martin one night at Roy's, a Chinese place across from the Comedy Store. Well, I have been to the Comedy Store many times, and I do not think there's a place called Roy's across the street anymore. So she'll be sad that that place is gone. They were musicians too, and their schoolmate Billy Hinch, as Dino, Desi, and Billy had done those teeny bopper records that kids loved back in 1965. We talked quite a while about the music business. Desi was by far the more serious one. Dean Paul had a joke a minute. He was a very up type of guy. When I heard that Dean Martin really never got over Dean Paul's 1987 death in an airplane crash, I could understand it. Everyone says the loss of a child the hardest thing in the world, and Dean Paul would leave a big hole in anybody's world. I like both of those guys, and the three of us had a great time that night. When I was ready to leave, Desi said he'd like to see me again, and we exchanged phone numbers. A few days later, he called. I'd really like to go out, he said, but I've been under a doctor's care, and you'll need to talk to him first. What? Okay. That's another flag right there. Don't do it. I had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't either. And he didn't go into it on the telephone. A day or so later, I got a call from a guy who introduced himself as Desi's shrink. The doctor, okay, no. If this is a family member, yes, but this is just somebody you want to date, you don't need to, this is not a good start. It's like signing with Far Out. There's just flags everywhere. The doctor explained that Desi had been going through some rough times, and if I wanted to date him, I'd have to follow some very strict guidelines. There would be no drugs, no alcohol, not even a beer. I don't know why I wasn't insulted. Exactly. Instead, it aroused my curiosity. Oh, no. I've always been drawn to wounded pups. No. Then the shrink told me another requirement that intrigued me. Well, just keep going. Might as well get the list. We had to meet at his mother's home. I was going to meet Lucille Ball. Man, like everybody else in the world, I love Lucy. Well, now this has turned out just great. I arrived at the appointed day. Was disappointed to find that Lucy was not there. Yeah, I doubt Lucy. Yeah, there's somebody answers the door, but it ain't going to be Lucy. Guarantee you that. I'm answering my own door. I just answered it for the Amazon man. And I hope my ladderball is in there because Ron White is telling me that this thing called ladderball, I don't even know what it is, but I bought it. He said it would change my life. And he said it in this term, Maddie, you got to get it. It's going to change your life. That sounds convincing, right? It was like $30. We'll see. I arrived at the appointed day, was disappointed out that Lucy was not there. But Desi took me on a tour of every room in the mansion, even the bathrooms. It was very posh. He played some music for me, then he sat down and told me he was still torn up about his relationship with Patty Duke, and he thought that was contributing to his mental state. She evidently had a son by Desi and refused to tell the child who the father was. What? And I think Patty Duke wrote a whole book about being bipolar or something was going on there. He said that someday she'd regret it, but I wondered if she did. Desi might have kissed me a couple times, but it was a very innocent date. I followed the guidelines to the letter, but nothing really clicked between us. I ran into Desi and Dean Paul around town later, and Desi and I never got to be an item. Well, that sounds like that'd be fine. In fact, so many of my so-called hot celebrity love affairs were not all that hot at all. Throughout my career, I've seen some of the names pop up, some of the same names pop up everywhere, and it was always appeared they were momentous in my life. I didn't really discourage the myth, but with one notable exception. The men who have been significant loves in my life are not public figures, but if a tabloid wants me to link me to someone, a public figure, it makes a better read. Don Johnson is a case in point. When I met John, he didn't have much going on career-wise. He was driving an old beat-up Volkswagen, an orange Volkswagen, and he didn't even have gas. Don was in amateur night at the Dixie Bar and Grill, but I didn't really get to know him, so I was dating a rodeo guy, Bobby Brown, when I made that movie, and he'd drive me to the set in his Jeep every morning, then pick me back up every night. It wasn't exactly limo service like some of the people had, but it worked for me. And because I didn't hang around after the filming stopped each evening, with the exception of Candy Clark, I really didn't get to know much of the cast that well. I ran into Don months later at Robert's on the beach, and we had a few drinks and really hit it off. Don was as wild as me, and he loved to hang out. We started seeing each other, hitting the clubs and partying in the party scene every chance we got. Don was a frustrated singer and songwriter and was fascinated with the music business professionals. I think he probably enjoyed the most while we dated when we attended the Allman Brothers concert at the Forum, and afterward we jumped into the Allman's limo and went to Don's house in Santa Monica. We stayed up all night long with while Dickie Betts tried to help Don write a song. I don't know for sure, but I never heard that song. I never heard that song saw the light of day, but Dickie and Don, but like Dickie and Don and I did with bleary eyes. Bleary. It didn't last long though, because Don was a very cocky guy with an enormous ego and a strong will. Things pretty much needed to go his way, and I was always thinking it ought to go my way. Well, good for you, Tanya. For once, just get a grip on one of these situations, any of them. I could be a little cocky myself, especially around a guy who thinks he's a gift. The biggest issue between us is that I didn't want to sleep with him. Very funny about sex. If a guy seems to like he expects it, or that I somehow ought to feel grateful for him for propositioning me, that's when I'm most likely to say, no way. I doubt Don usually had problems along those lines with women he dated, so we ended up quarreling a lot and the relationship cooled. I saw Don later at the La Dome Club in LA, never heard of that, while he was living with Patty Darbinville. He said some nice things about me, or at least he must have said some nice things about me, or at least admitted we'd never had sex, because Patty, who was 8 months pregnant, jumped out of her chair and dragged me clear back to a broom closet in the kitchen to tell me how wonderful I was and what a good friend I was to her and Don. Too bad that feeling didn't last. Several years ago, I wanted Don to appear with me in a video. My staff placed a phone call to his manager, his agent, to his home in Aspen, where he and then-wife Melanie Griffith were staying. No one even responded. Even at the house, the only answer we could get was, we'll give him the message, right, and the check's in the mail. Well, who knew? Don Johnson. Yeah, I could picture him being cocky. What else do I have for you, Termites? I have this. ESPN 30 for 30, Lance Armstrong. 2 hours, 2 parts. I went to Iraq with him. My mother says don't say anything bad. If you don't have anything nice, don't say anything at all. Well, everybody says that, but I will tell you this. At the end of our Iraq, Afghanistan, hoop-de-ha, la-de-la, Kid Rock was there, Lewis, me, another comedian, I think. I went on a few, so I get them confused, but this one I know Lance Armstrong was on, and when we all left, we all switched phone numbers except for Lance. I just kind of walked by him, and I don't think he wanted mine either. I don't think he cared, and we didn't care either. Every day, we would ride in Black Hawk helicopters, which was every day, unless there was a sandstorm. He would run out, literally run, to go in the front of the line to make sure he could get the gunner position to shoot things. And finally, Lewis said something along the lines of, Lance, there's no need to run. None of us here want to sit there. So you can be late if you want. Then one time Lance went running with Because Lewis said, what's he going to do? I go, he's going to do spin classes on stages, Lou. He's like, where are they going to get those kind of bikes over there? I go, I just made that up, Lou. He's not doing a spin class in Kabul. I don't know what he's going to do either. I guess he signs autographs, take pictures. But he raced a bunch of the soldier people, like National Guard people. You know, they thought they were going to be cleaning up after tornadoes in Missouri. They had no idea that their ass was going to end up in Kandahar teaching heroin farmers how to grow corn. What? Anyway, he came in one day all sweaty, and they said, don't go outside today because of the sandstorm, but he did it anyway. And I said, how was your run, Lance? He goes, great, I kicked their asses. I'm like, well, I would hope so. You're a professional athlete. These were people that are a little chubby that were looking for weekend checks to be a National Guard person, and now shit has hit the fan, and the next thing you know, you're trying to jog with Lance Armstrong in a sandstorm in Mosul, or Mosul, however you want to pronounce that. Anyway, I haven't seen the second part. I only watched one part. It's pretty good, though. And you got to see the guy note the man that is the editor of the Bicycle magazine. Whoo-hoo. That will make you think the bicycle world people are just a little strange. They're not your normal baseball, soccer, tennis. Oof, different breed. All right, termites. You're good termites. You're worth it. You're worthy termites. You're smart termites. You've hung in this long just to hear this book about this hell-raising woman. It's a good book, though, right? I like biographies, autobiographies, biographies, whatever. I can't say you're all in shape, termites, because I don't know that. I bet some of you have gotten very chubby during this quarantine. That's all right. It's okay. What do people expect? Can't go to the gym? Well, those are open now, I think. I don't know. I don't go to that. All right, termites. Get yourself tucked in. I would not recommend chili vodka before you go to bed. I'm just running out of liquors to show you. And I haven't had a repeat of liquor. I'm pretty proud of that. And I haven't gone and snuck out and bought new stuff. This is just what's here in the closet. The liquor closet. All right, termites. Tuck yourself in. Whisper to yourself, I'm a good termite. I'm a worthy termite. And in the words of Ron White, I will say to you, night-night, termites.